Blog Talk Radio.
Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. This is the 90-Degree Show brought to you by the Marching Podcast and Blog Talk Radio. I'm your official Marching Podcast announcer, David Thompson, and here's your host, the Phantom Podcaster himself, Joe Beard.
All right. Welcome to the 90-Degree Show. In fact, welcome to the 2012 Marching Podcast Awards, Best of 2012. I'm Joe Beard, and I'm happy to be of service for you today. Today is the 16th of December, 3 o'clock on the West Coast, 6 o'clock on the East Coast, and we are happy to be of service for you today. We are deciding the best of 2012 and giving out the awards to each school. We will try to contact each school to let them know and try to send them something. And if you're representing one of the schools mentioned today, go ahead and spread the word. Spread the word that your school won the 2012 Marching Podcast Award for Best blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera. We're bringing in some of our co-hosts tonight, and we hope that you will call in yourself and tell us what you thought was best in 2012. You can call into the show at 718-664-6025. That's 718-664-6025. Email the show at marchingpodcast@gmail.com or tweet us at marchingpodcast. You can check out the website at www.themarchingpodcast.com. And go there now to vote on who you think will win the 2013 Honda Battle of the Bands. I'll close the polls on the Friday before the Battle of the Bands and post the results on our blog, the Marching Blogcast, at blog4.themarchingpodcast.com. On the line today we have the 1997 Crab President Troy Milton. What's going on tonight, Troy?
What's going on, bro? How you doing? I'm
doing all right. And I think the area code, I think that's the great Maurice Bailey, the pride of Provine. Is that you, Maurice?
Yes, sir. It's me.
What's going on, man?
I'm tripping on all these titles you're putting up for me.
I knew, man. I knew you like the pride of Provine, man. You know, but just representing. It's been a good year, and I appreciate you guys being part of the show this year. I'll be looking forward to hearing from you guys and being with you guys in the years to come. Got a little Christmas gift going out to you guys, and also a little segue to our store, the Marching Podcast Nalia store. You can go to themarchingpodcast.com and you'll see the tag Marching Podcast Nalia. Go there and buy you some Christmas gifts with the Great Marching Podcast logos and Twitter handles on them. I'll be sending you guys something so you can represent. So go ahead, as a family thing. The proceeds will be going towards college scholarships. So go ahead and you guys go to Marching Podcast Nalia. And let's go ahead and get into the discussion real fast for the sake of time. I almost got carried away with myself right there. But we got 10 categories we're giving away awards for today. And, if we have some, extra ones that, we want to mention, that's fair game as well. But we have the best songs, the best fifth quarter, sleeper battles, sleeper band, best halftime show, best in the stands, best overall band, the best book or best repertoire, wherever you're from, best drill, and the best conference. So we'll go ahead and try to get into some of those. You're free to call in, please, at 718-664-6025. Go ahead and call us in, and we'll go ahead and give you the way to let you know or let you tell us what you felt was great in 2012. I'll go ahead and start with you, Maurice. Let's get into the first category here. I guess I can get into best songs. I guess that's a good warm-up battle that we can get into. Songs I thought would be songs that would just be a great song that a band would play, great with dynamics, recognition of the song itself, sounding close to the original. Energy, makes you want to listen to it like any other song in your iPod or whatever, and help with the momentum of the battle. So, Maurice, I'll go ahead and start with you. What are some of the good songs that you heard this year? If somebody's got some feedback, go ahead and mute it. I'm getting an audio kick or something.
You know basically how I feel about the whole situation when it comes to songs. Like, you have to separate the tune songs or the book songs from the rap songs. These days, rap songs are kind of, the hip-hop songs kind of taking over the entire process. So, like this, I'm going to start with, I think you mean like funk tunes, so I'm going to go to that, and I'm going to start with a ballad. All the ones I've heard this year, internet and otherwise, I think that Southern's All the Things Your Man Won't Do, basically they hit a lick. It was probably the best sound. They did something that they're doing something that they don't normally do, and that is they have a better sound as far as trying to give us the dynamics and give us the all around quality. They're trying to put the finesse in their band program. I think Mr. Jackson is doing an excellent job because at least every year for the past 4 years he's had that one song, and All Things Your Man Won't Do, man. They put a key change in there, man. They just it sounded way better than one that even Magruder wrote back in the 90s. So I think that, in my opinion, that was my favorite.
Okay. Wow. Do you have like a third favorite? Any other song that popped out in your mind?
Talking about to me?
Yeah. Other than, I guess that's like your number one. Did you have any other song that you thought that was?
A lot of people are doing a lot of repeat stuff these days. I don't want to take up the whole show the whole time because I can go through a lot of songs. I think
just give me one more.
My best rap song I heard all year was probably I heard a couple of bands do a pretty good version of Work Hard, Play Hard, the Wiz Khalifa song.
Yeah. All right, Troy, go ahead. Troy, what was your best couple songs of 2012?
I'll give you my list. It's going to sound ironic, but Joe can testify to this because I sent you my list last week. But my number one song was Southern, The Things Your Man Won't Do, also. So I know me and Maurice must have some kind of telepathy going on. My second favorite was JSU's version of Work Hard, Play Hard, So maybe we got this swag SU bias. And my third was Imagination by JSU. They pulled it back off this year, and I love that song. When we were in the band, I still love it. It was great to hear it. They played it good this year, and those were my top three songs that I heard this year that, just really moved me when I heard them played.
Okay, y'all got some really good ones, man. I had a whole bunch, and it was hard for me to, pick one for everything. I know I hit y'all up, and I was like, hey, it's all good if y'all got more than one, because I was struggling with a lot of them. But definitely one of the ones I definitely made note of was what Man Won't Do from Southern. I thought that was pretty good this year. I always like Southern, Something in My Heart, too. I know that they've played that before, but just traditionally thinking of Southern, I thought that was really, really good. Something that kind of throw surprise in y'all, but Pop Goes My Mind by Miles College. I thought it was raw. I really, really enjoyed them cranking that song this year, and plus it's out of nowhere because, Miles, I wasn't really thinking Miles was doing anything like that, but I thought that was the bomb. And Bethune-Cookman version of Sleeping in My Bed and Norfolk State, or not Norfolk, I think, Norfolk State. No, you know what? I get Norfolk State and A&T mixed up, but North Carolina A&T, they had Nobody Does It Better, and I really liked their arrangement from the one that we all played there. But so I guess those were some of my best songs. But definitely, I guess we all agree on what Man Won't Do. So we'll definitely contact Southern. I know definitely if Garrett is listening, I know they crunk about that, about 3 Jackson State dudes giving Southern props on something like that. But definitely, we all agree on that. They sound good. Yeah, I mean, they are cranking that song. Next, because we all had, I guess, a lot of songs. You know, we could dwell on that a little bit more. Next is what about sleeper band? Best sleeper band. I get to my little sleeper bands here, but definitely schools that nobody was expecting. Maybe something out of nowhere, or something where with like a progression, not your traditional powerhouse, not on the radar bands. I'll start with you, Troy, this time.
Okay.
Troy, what was some of your sleeper bands this year?
I picked one. I narrowed it down to one, and my sleeper band for this year was Livingstone.
Okay.
That was my sleeper band. They're a small band. They're coming up, programs coming up, but they're doing everything right that I've seen so far. I think in the next few years they will be a band that will be on the map, and people will have to actively prepare for when they go against those guys. That's my pick for sleeper band.
Okay. All right. Well, what about you, Maurice? What was your pick this year for the sleeper bands?
As far as I narrowed mine down to one also. I think a lot of people don't recognize this band for a whole lot of reasons. But ever since Mr. Knighton, God rest his soul, because I think he died not too long ago. Mr. Knighton left Southern and ended up going to South Carolina State. And very few bands in the SWAC get a chance to meet a whole lot of other MEAC bands. But not only do I study these bands on YouTube, but I also have had the chance to actually be in front of these bands. Jackson State played there when I was in school. South Carolina State's band has come up tremendously as far as the sound is concerned. Man, it really, really is just. And most people think about sleeper bands, and you think, let me pick a little small band that's doing it well. But I don't do that. I pick a band who has not so much, like small bands like Miles College, these schools that just get bands. We think, okay, let's do a sleeper band, because sleeper basically means a band that's new or young and they're small. But South Carolina State's band has been around for a long time, and I think that they've been pretty much slept on for at least the past 2 years. They actually have a way better sound. They look better on the field than they used to. I mean, Mr. Knighton, I don't know if it was just out him by himself, but he brought some good concepts to that program and really brought that program up. I encourage anybody to go out there and look at some clips of South Carolina State's marching band.
Okay, that's a new little twist, because, I guess they're traditional, but I guess they haven't been, like you say, they haven't been as they should be. So I guess they have been asleep, or they haven't been on the stage, according to you. So that's pretty cool. That you surprised me with that one, man. I was going to say Miles, but I kind of remember, man, I think like in 97, we were on a trip, and we did like a battle of the bands on like this metal surface. Do you guys remember that? I'm not sure if y'all remember that. but we just came from a game. I think it was in Arkansas, I think we just left the Arkansas Pine Bluff game. We left a game, and then we did like a battle of the band somewhere. And I remember Miles being in the stands, like playing while we were marching off. Or either we were somewhere. I couldn't remember, but I guess the reason why I thought of that was Miles. I wanted to pick Miles, but Miles sounded good that night, so I couldn't really go with them with mine. I came down to two. And Troy, I'm with you on the Livingstone. We've been talking about that this year, but definitely Livingstone, because I remember Livingstone being like 4 people when I marched at Smith. It was ridiculous. And just to see them coming up now is really, really nice. And they sound good, and they look good on the field. So I really enjoyed them. And Edward Waters, Livingstone and Edward Waters were something I was just like, Edward Waters, like, that's just out of nowhere. But they're a small band. They got good volume. They got good power. I saw them against Savannah State, and they did really, really good with their spacing and their precision. So they know how to get crunk, too. So, I had to give it to them. Let's move right along. Best in the stands. Maurice, I'll start with you this time. What was the band or a couple of bands that was best in the stands to you?
That's one that's kind of it's kind of hard to narrow it down.
Yeah.
I guess if I had to say best in, I just can say some songs that I heard from some bands that were pretty good. Tennessee State gets some good stuff in the stands. I basically was surprised by a lot of people to get some good stuff in the stands, especially this year from all the games that I went to. I pretty much am. I'm not like everybody else. I can tell you who I was disappointed in the stands. I wasn't as pleased with my alma mater in the stands this year much for a lot of games. And I probably another band that I expected to be a little bit better in the stands. I think I expected for what's the name of this band? Bethune-Cookman. Bethune-Cookman is usually pretty good in the stands. They were just all right this year. Alabama State, I think the size impresses everybody, and so we get so caught up in the size and we don't think about their sound. I actually think Alabama State is a program that needs some band director, somebody to just come in and clean up their sound. If they had somebody to come in and clean up all that mugginess and to really, really give them some good concepts of how to put some quality to that sound they got, man, they would be whooping a lot of people. I'm literally in the stands. Now, their field shows are not at the par at all. So that's why I brought up Alabama State, because that's the only thing you can argue about Alabama State on is the stands, because the field show is complete trash. But
okay,
that's all I have to say.
So what about you, Troy? Who do you think was really good in the stands this year in 2012?
I got two picks. My top pick is Tennessee State. Tennessee State, musically, this year really impressed me. They sounded good on pretty much everything they played. They had a lot of energy in the stands. They put it on Jackson State in the stands, if you ask me, this year. I was thoroughly impressed by them. They always sound pretty good, but this year was exceptional. You know, they played a lot of new music. They played a lot of music that wasn't traditional TSU-style music. You know, their arrangements are a little different. You know, I was really impressed by them this year. My second, I thought sometimes this year I was a little underwhelmed by Southern, but I did see a lot of good things from them in the stands this year. So, but TSU was definitely my number one pick for the stand band.
Okay.
And that's Tennessee State, not Texas Southern.
Right. Okay. That's cool that you make that discrepancy. Let me go ahead and throw mine out, because it looks like we got a caller. I thought Bethune-Cookman was number one to me this year in the stands. I thought that, you know, they were really, really good as far as, you know, keeping consistent with what they were doing this year. And, you know, they danced a lot. I'm not a fan of a whole lot of dancing and stuff, but, you know, they did enough to be entertaining. And Tennessee State, too. Troy, you and I, we agree on a lot of stuff today, man. I thought Tennessee State was good in the stands. They've been traditionally good in the stands. I remember in 97, they were kind of good. I'm not really remembering that game too much, but they were kind of tight in 97.
They were.
But definitely, yeah. So let me go ahead and get to this call, moving right along. Someone from the 678 area code. Go ahead and let us know what you thought, or give us your name and what you thought was best of 2012. Hey, caller, are you there? All right, caller. Well, it's all good. If you get a chance, go ahead and give us a call back, and, you know, we'll go ahead and get your feedback. All right, moving right along. We need to, I guess, pick it up some. Best halftime show. Troy, I'll start with you. What was the best halftime show to you this year?
That was the one that I struggled with. I didn't see too much that really wowed me this year on the field. I'll have to give it to Jackson State and it was maybe one or two different shows, and I'll explain why real quick. The reason is because this year I've seen so many new concepts that Jackson State hasn't done in so many years, and I was so impressed by the way Dow Taylor kind of stepped outside the box with the field shows this year. When I was looking at those two trumpet squads that would have to do the double time to get out to concert formation, that kind of stuff was just stuff that we hadn't seen Jackson State execute on the field. And so I'm not going to narrow it down to a particular show, but quite a few of their shows impressed me the most. And then, Bethune-Cookman is good on the field and a couple other bands, but I'll have to give best halftime performances to Jackson State. And you can
okay.
pick one of your shows. Homecoming was good, Alcorn, either one.
What about you, Maurice?
I think it's a hands down situation with me. I've seen some schools do some better stuff. Of course, I've seen Jackson State improve on field shows. Mississippi Valley State done an excellent job in improving on their field shows as far as their marching style is concerned, even though they're not doing what their band originally started out doing. Which I want to say something about that closer to the end of the show about these originators of things and bands. But I think I give it hands down to Bethune-Cookman. I'm not exactly a Bethune-Cookman fan when it comes to with the kind of music they play or the type of language they play. Their sound is good. I'm not taking away from that, but I think the best thing about Bethune-Cookman is they give precise field shows. They are top-notch in precision as far as black colleges are concerned. I'm willing to argue with anybody from any conference there is. Bethune-Cookman can put on a show that will make you look out there, even the fat people, the people that don't even look like their bodies have good symmetry, even get into the show, and everything is precise to the T. I've yet to see even old school Jackson State bands add to that type of precision that they put on the field. So I would have to give it to them hands down. Bethune-Cookman.
I can buy that.
That's cool. I'm going to go a little bit like you, Maurice, a little bit outside of the box. There was a couple of them that were really good, but I have to give the number one because of the creativity and just because it was different, and it wasn't from a black college. Well, actually, it's a tie because they were both different. The first I'll give it to was Ohio State. They did a video game joint, and they had Tetris. They did Asteroids. They did Super Mario Brothers. They took down the flag like on Super Mario Brothers and put up the Ohio State flag. I just thought it was really, really creative, something that we hadn't seen before. And it was funny. I got blasted on the fifth quarter because I saw it late. My cousin told me about it, and I was all crunk and put on the fifth quarter, and everybody's like, yeah, you're a couple weeks late. But I thought that was really good. And I thought North Carolina Central had a really, really good halftime show against A&T where they did core style and they high-step their show, something different. They marched with a pit anyway. So I really like North Carolina Central just being different outside of the box, something that jumped out at me and something off the norm with those two halftime performances. Okay, moving along, what about the best drill, sticking with halftimes? Troy, what was the best drill that you saw this year?
I went with JSU's drill at Alcorn. That was my choice. I think the music selection was good, and they executed on the field great.
Yeah, let's speed these up because I want to definitely hear your analysis on the fifth quarter and best overall band and best conference. So what did you think the best drill was this year, Maurice?
I believe hands down, a lot of people are not going to be happy about this, but I think Southern still does a great job on those drills, man. Jackson State is on the come up. Congratulations to Dow Taylor being the new director of bands now, not just interim. I'm sure he's going to pull out some real stuff next year because he has the band kind of tight, tightly under his control. But I have to give it to Southern again.
Okay. I have to give it myself to Jackson State just because they cleaned it up so fast. We were kind of slaw a little bit on the drill for a little while, but they cleaned it up so fast. I thought they were the drill, but also I thought Stillman College was really, really good on the drill. I saw a couple of drills where they actually did two drill pieces, in the same. I thought that was and for their size, they kept the precision and spacing. I thought it was really, really good. Southern is really, really hard to argue with because they look so good. But it's kind of one of those things. I was kind of surprised with Jackson State. They cleaned it up so well. Best book or best repertoire? What do you think, Troy, Maurice?
I believe anybody who doesn't get into Tennessee State is probably a band idiot.
Yep.
Tennessee State.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
They find a way every year. And someone needs to go, anybody needs to research if they're the band director in black colleges or any college to see how they do it. Do they give them the music? Do they send the music home to them over the summer through the mail? What are they doing? Because I'm talking about for like the first, second game, they got a book that just cannot be handled by anybody.
Yep.
They might not sound their greatest on it until about the fifth or sixth game, but at least they got the songs put out there, so I give it to them.
What do you think, Troy?
I agree.
Same thing, yeah. Yeah, I guess we hands down with that one. Definitely Tennessee State. Sleeper battles. Any battles that surprised you guys this year? What about you, Troy?
Savannah and Albany State. That was a good battle. I enjoyed watching that battle. Those two schools are, I guess you would kind of call them your mid-range schools, but they both fought hard. Good song selection, high energy. That was my sleeper battle for the year.
What about you, Maurice?
I heard Alabama State and Alabama A&M had a pretty good battle. And I was talking to Gerard Howard at the SWAC championship. He was telling me about how he was impressed by that. The best battle I saw in person was JSU and Alcorn this year. I think that was a pretty good battle that's going to be looked at for some years down the line.
Okay. And that Miles and Albany State, I thought was a really, really good sleeper battle because they threw each other back and forth. I mean, they had some really good quality, really good songs, and you could just let that one play. I thought it was really, really good. Best fifth quarter. Maurice, what do you think?
That's I think the category before that and this one is kind of similar, huh?
I was thinking sleeper battles, like
oh, okay.
Like somebody you wasn't expecting to have a good battle.
Yeah, I won't say good battle, but I wasn't expecting Mississippi Valley State to kind of do a lot of stuff they did this year. As far as their stand battles, they kind of impressed me a little, which I don't think they've been able to do that in probably about 19 or 20 years.
What about you? What about you, Troy?
Best fifth quarter this season, hands down, was Tennessee State and Bethune-Cookman. It was long. They fought it out. They played tunes. They both sounded good. That was hands down the best fifth quarter this year.
Yeah, I was really tough. I was struggling with that one. Bethune-Cookman, Tennessee State, Bethune-Cookman, South Carolina State. I thought those were good, but Jackson State, Tennessee State, minus the fireworks that was going off, I thought that was another good battle as well. But, yeah, I guess we agree that Bethune-Cookman, Tennessee State was the bomb. Best overall band. I'll start with you, Maurice. And we got about 2 minutes.
That's the one I really couldn't answer. I pondered over it for about a week and a half. I just couldn't come up with anybody. Not best overall. It just goes to show that bands are doing much better this year.
A lot of parity, yeah. What about you, Troy?
Bethune-Cookman. When I add up all the categories, I mean, even if you just go by how we've just been discussing, their name has come up more than anybody else, so I have to give it to them. But that was my pick.
Yeah. I agree. It was Bethune-Cookman for me. I really struggled with that one because, I wanted to put Jackson State out there, but Jackson State, they have their flaws or whatever, and all of them have their flaws because Bethune really ain't got that screaming and that funk. But we got 60 seconds. What's the best conference? What was the best conference this year?
SWAC.
I'm tight with that one because I think the MEAC had a little bit more quality. The SWAC has a lot more numbers, but I think the MEAC had a lot more quality. They don't have the numbers and the size and the funk, but I think there's a lot of horn holders in the SWAC and a lot of wanting to scream and be loud. But definitely that's a tough one because, I mean, you can throw so many bands from the SWAC at MEAC and it would just be, it would look just like David and Goliath pretty much. But we got 10 seconds. Thank you so much for listening this year. We appreciate all that you've done. Remember, the eye is a better listener and better. I don't even remember the rest. I'm so excited. But thanks a lot, Troy, and thanks a lot, Maurice. And you'll be hearing from us. Happy 2012. Happy 2013. God bless. Thanks for all that you've done to help us. And remember, the eye is a better pupil and more willing than the ear. Advice may be misleading, but examples are always clear. See you next time.